Look at it. What? Where are you going? He's so excited.
Don't you know you're beautiful? He made you that way, better than usual, in every size and shape, divinely and carefully made. You are royalty, and although this world will change, you will remain beautiful.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We are so excited to be back. We do know that we've been gone for a minute, right? We are not oblivious to that, but for good reason. As you can see in our intro video, we have an addition to our family, and her name is
Lyric Grace.
Lyric Grace. Yes. So we got to give you some background of how we got to this point, right? It started in 2019, right? 2019, there was no mask, there was no COVID. It's a beautiful time. But not for us. That year was tough for us.
Very.
That was a tough year. You got pregnant in February, right? 2019.
Technically, I got pregnant in January.
So we found out that we are going to have a baby, and then we go on a trip. Where do we go, babe?
LA.
LA, right? So, fellas, you're with me. I know you're with me. We go to LA, and this is the first time that we're away from our oldest baby girl, Melody. And, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to give all of myself to my wife. I'm ready just to be a great person, you know, for that whole week. And I'm excited. And we get there late, right?
Yes.
Okay, wake up.
Sorry, I'm confused because I just realized we're talking about 2019. I'm thinking we talking about Lyric, like how we found out about Lyric.
All right. So,
all right, yeah.
you with me?
I'm with you.
All right, now.
Because in my mind, I'm like, this is not adding up.
All right, so we found out that we're pregnant. We go to LA to celebrate and have our first mommy and daddy time away from our oldest daughter.
Right.
And we get there, and baby, tell the people what happened when we get there.
I got sick.
No, not just like, not like cute sick, you know, not like, you know, got those sniffles. She got sick.
My stomach was so upset, like I could barely get out of bed after the first day.
The whole vacation.
It was a beautiful vacation. I mean, beautiful. We stayed at Ritz-Carlton.
I went above and beyond.
We stayed at what's it called?
Santa Barbara. Bacara. Yeah. It was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I set it up. It was on a platter, and she got sick. And you know, we joke about that now because in that moment we didn't know what was going to happen. So we fly back home, and then we have your first ultrasound, and we're there. And then tell us what happened, babe.
So basically, the ultrasound tech was just taking a long time to find what she needed to, which can be normal early in pregnancy because the baby's so small, but she was having a really hard time finding the heartbeat. And typically what they do is they don't have it on, well, where we go, they don't have the sound on initially anyway. So we weren't necessarily concerned. We just thought it was taking a while. Then she asked Marcus to leave the room because she wanted to do a what's called transvaginal ultrasound. And thinking back on that, I should have probably told him to stay since he's my husband and he has, you know, the right to be in there, and obviously I'm comfortable with him being in there. But I had no idea.
I was technically already in there. that's how he got. So it's a good joke. I couldn't let it go.
Anywho, not expecting any, you know, bad news. So I was like, you know, okay, cool. Like he can walk out, and then you know we'll call him back in a minute. I knew she was having trouble finding the heartbeat, but she never said it. She never told us while we were there, like, hey, there's no heartbeat. What she did was wrap the ultrasound up, and then she left out and said she needed to talk with, you know, whoever was over her.
Yeah.
And then she came back in and she just basically was like, hey, your doctor wants you to come see her. I'm like, okay. So we left there.
Like dummies, okay.
We left there like, all right. What? We knew obviously
We
at
knew
that
something
point
wasn't
something
right,
was
yeah.
wrong, but I had no. We weren't anticipating the news that we were gonna get. So we finally get to my doctor's office, and the doctor comes in and she just says the dreaded words, "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat."
Yeah, and then that moment, that was like a.
I think I broke down right away.
Yeah, I did.
I think I broke down in the car before we even got
Yeah.
there.
See, you broke down in a very practical place. You broke down in the doctor's office. I broke down in Panera Bread, which is not the most practical place. And that was the beginning of really a tough year for us. There was some struggles financially, obviously struggles. You not having a miscarriage puts pressure or some weight, emotional trauma or weight on your marriage.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know how to be there for her. And
You weren't very vocal about
I wasn't very
how you-
vocal because I was struggling with it too. So it was a tough moment for us. And at that moment, none of us was doing therapy. So it was kind of like, trying to figure it out. So we picked up with the rest of the year and we tried to like plow through it. And things just got worse. I mean, it became tough. And then in September, or maybe around the fall, we found out that we lost another baby.
Yeah, the second time was different because the first time I had to basically surgically have the baby removed in the hospital, but the second time it happened at home, so I had to pass the baby at home.
And that was
That was like an additional level of trauma. Like, okay, at the hospital, you don't have to see and feel necessarily the process, but when you have a miscarriage at home, like you see it, you feel it, you just like you're in it.
the end of the year comes and we're exhausted. I mean, we're not nearly where we were in 2019, the beginning of 2019. We're not really talking. We're not connecting. We're just not in a good spot.
Kind of like bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Trying to make
Getting by. Some good laughs, some moments there, but all right. So the new year comes, and I'm like, God, thank you for the new year, right? I'm like, 2020 is gonna be it.
Yeah, I think rewind a little bit. By Christmas, we started kind of like finding a rhythm.
I
And
guess.
like things were picking back up around that time.
We had some tough conversations, and then
Yeah.
that helped, help
Right.
us heal.
That's why I said we found a rhythm. It
Right.
wasn't perfect, but we were starting to we were starting on the
Right.
trajectory.
The car was at
I'm
least
kidding.
in drive, right? So we get to 2020, and it's like it's turning around a little bit for us.
Yeah.
And then in March we find out. My wife surprises me again and says, "Hey, we're expecting a baby."
Yeah.
Now I wasn't expecting a baby, so I'm not saying she was out there, but I was. Listen,
Sweetheart, it takes two to tango.
right? But maybe I wasn't dancing with you. No, but it was crazy when you gave me the news. It was like, boom, and we weren't even trying.
No.
I mean, we were trying. We were doing whatever. We weren't actively trying.
Right.
And it couldn't have come at a worse time. So my mindset was back then. Because we found out in March, and then a few weeks later, they shut down everything. Like everything, because of COVID. Everything. So everything was different. Doctor's appointments different. I couldn't go into doctor's appointments. I couldn't do anything. So everything was different. And then on top of that, you had this beautiful, beautiful condition that happened to you in the beginning of your pregnancy. What was that? Let them know.
We found out early in my pregnancy that I had what's called placenta previa, which is basically your uterus, or not your uterus, your placenta is covering your cervix. So basically, the baby has no way to come out in a sense. So with that news, they put me on bed rest. Which meant he had to do everything because I literally couldn't. I could only go to the bathroom. That's it. They didn't want me getting up, walking around, cooking, nothing. They just wanted me in bed the whole time.
So, as we progressed through that whole thing, the summertime hit. We're feeling a bit good, right?
Yeah, because we thinking, okay, yeah, we only on a stay-at-home order.
This is about to clear up, right?
Going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
And then we get close to our birthing date, right? Delivery date. as we're getting closer to.
Right.
And then my wife comes to me with a great idea.
No, first of all, so
One of her great ideas.
So when we found out we were pregnant, we toyed with the idea of a water birth, a home birth.
She toyed with that idea.
So I brought it up. Then when we found out I had placenta previa, we were like, okay, that's off the table because you can't really have a home birth when you're high risk.
Right.
But when I was 32 weeks. At 32 weeks,
you were almost at the finish line.
So throughout the pregnancy, my placenta started to migrate on its own out of the way. So at 32 weeks, I was fully clear to have a vaginal birth, and I was no longer high risk. Like basically, I was good
it was
to
go
go.
time. Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'm like, okay. I always wanted to have a home birth. I always wanted to have the baby in water. We're in a pandemic. I don't want to be in a hospital. I don't want to have to only have one support person.
Hey, yo,
So
first of all, let's clear this up. The whole one support person, she didn't want me to be in there.
That's
she
not
wanted
true.
one of our friends to be in there,
That's
a family
not,
friend.
First of all,
She said
she
if I had to
wasn't just
pick,
any friend.
she said
was
if I
a
had
nurse.
to pick between y'all two, I'm going her.
I would want to go with her, but I would. Here's the thing. The reason why I felt like that, obviously he has first dibs. It's his baby too. But the reason why I wanted to have our friend present because one, she was a nurse, and I wanted somebody that could actually advocate for me because with our first pregnancy, I felt like the nurses and not really the doctors. Most of the nurses were just not. They didn't pay much attention to me.
They weren't attentive. Yeah,
they weren't attentive. The one nurse that was supposed to be my nurse dropped the ball. Like she got caught up in another pregnancy, which meant I had to rush and have Melody because they weren't ready. Blah blah blah. So I just had a bad experience in the hospital. So I was like, next time we have a baby, I really want to, think about having the baby at home. Then when I'm getting into the process of looking up, I was getting no's from like every midwife in Philly because I was 32 weeks, and usually they don't take on patients that late in the game. So I got to the point where I'm just like, all right, I got none but no's, so we're just going to end up having a hospital birth. Then I just woke up one day, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try one more time. And I went on Instagram, and I think I looked up the hashtag Homebirth or something, and I found this woman named Erin at Beautiful Beginnings Homebirth. So I reached out to her. She Zoom called me like within that hour that I reached out to her. We talked about it. I called Marcus. I'm like, yo, I found somebody. Like, this is happening. She gives a discount to black people. It was just so perfect. Everything was just coming together. He finally jumped on board, after I told him about statistics of, just the disparities of, black women and how they're treated in the healthcare system in general.
It was really a great decision. Mm-hmm. It's one of the best decisions. But I gotta show you what I did the morning her water broke. I gotta show you what I did the morning her water broke. Alright, so Tiana's having the baby. She woke up this morning with a lot of contractions. Today's gonna be the day. My breath is rocking underneath this mask because I ain't brushed my teeth. And of course, last minute stuff. Don't judge me. I was supposed to have this hose a while ago. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. You know what? Shout out to Walmart. One of the few places I can get a garden hose, shower liner, and some towels. All right, time to head home and see what's happening. So like I said, don't judge me. I was not prepared.
I told him this. I'm like, Marcus, this is what's going to happen. You're going to wake up the day of. I've been telling him, we need a hose, we need this, whatever.
See, these are things in your mind you think you got.
I had a list of supplies that we needed, and I'm constantly reminding him, I was like, yo, you're going to wake up that morning, I'm going to be in labor, and you're not going to be ready, and you're going to have to run out and leave me at home. And what did you have to do? Run out and leave me at home. Mind you, so that morning, I think I woke up around 6-ish, and I felt like mild pain in my stomach, and up until this point I haven't felt any pain. I'm a week overdue, so I'm like, what is this? So I'm feeling mild pain. I text my mom and I think my sister to ask them, like, what does it feel like when you're having contractions, because I haven't had any real one. I let Marcus sleep. I didn't bother him because in my mind, I'm like, this is going to be a long process. Everything I've seen on YouTube, etc., it was like hours and hours of them. And I wasn't in that much pain that I needed help at that point.
Right.
Still very mild, very like durable. I'm still good. Like I'm about to get my makeup kit out and try to do my makeup, like, you know, because I was ready. Then they started picking up. And I'm like, all right, let me wake up Marcus and let him know what's happening. I could barely talk when I was having the contractions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were getting painful. He waking up discombobulated. Same thing he did with Melody. Then he realized, oh, I got to go get a hose. So he leaves to go get that. So I'm at home with Mel having contractions.
Sweet, you're not going to make me sound like a bad husband.
You're not a bad husband. You were not prepared.
Listen, when you say prepared, I was prepared. I was prepared mentally and emotionally.
Anyway,
all right.
We needed the hose in order to
fill up
have
the
pool set up. So therefore, you were not prepared.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how bad
this. So because of that,
I'm gonna tell you how bad this was. So they did a walkthrough of our house to make sure we could have the baby right here. So I'm going upstairs. I'm like, oh yeah, she's like, your shower head can come off, and then you can just attach the hose to that or whatever. I'm like, yeah. I've never tested it, so I'm like, yeah, of course I can do that. Listen, let me tell you, I get the hose. I come back. Shout out to Walmart. I come back, right? I'm ringing up the hose. I'm trying to put it together. I take off the shower head. Does not work. So now I'm trying.
The whole time I'm in the room in pain, bent over the bed.
So I'm trying to fill up a tub, the big tub, like a big plastic container in the bathtub. I don't know what type of strength I thought I had, but when I picked it up, it cracked. So I'm panicking because her nurses are there. I mean, the midwife, they're there. And I'm looking really bad because my wife's in pain. The pool is semi up. I didn't even have the pool right. And it's like, okay, so I had another hose.
Yeah. So
I had to go all the way up to the basement, tie 2 hoses together, connect them, put it all the way up to the second floor, and the water was trickling. And they was trying to be so nice to me. They was like, I was like, no, the water, you got no water pressure. They was like, it's coming. They were judging me. That they should have. That was bad.
So this is like, my midwife got there at 10 a.m. This is like 35, 40 minutes of him trying to figure out how to fill this pool up.
Right.
And I'm just like, my contractions, at this point, no relief. Like, none. Like, you know how they come and stop? Like, no relief. I'm just straight contractions, no stop. All this pain. And finally, by like, I think 10:45?
Yeah.
Probably like around 10:45, I got in the pool. Luckily, our videographer got there. And then from 10:45 to, what did I have, 11:06 or something like that?
Yeah, I thought it was 11:22 or 11:07.
I don't know. We'll show y'all the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's posterior right now. So let's see if we get hard turns right here.
We have a foot right here. You feel that?
Yes.
And we had a hand or an elbow over here. Her back is
I
here.
just check her every week.
I thought
She comes by, and we check baby, listen to baby, check vitals on mom, of course, make sure everything's healthy. And when the big day comes, usually it's in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., I get the call, and I call my assistant if it's happening quickly. Otherwise, I run over, check on everybody. Oh, there you go. Just lift your butt up, honey. Not too much, not too much. Just a little. There you go. There you go. Reach down. Reach down. Grab your baby. There you go. Slowly, slowly. Oh my God. Lift her head up. Lift her head up. There you go. You got her. You did it. You did it.
right?
Yep.
What and you know the craziest thing is that in the midst of a pandemic, like God bless us to have an experience with something that brought so much joy. So this is the cool thing about it too. Not only did we have that experience, but it got, documented.
Oh yeah.
So that was the cool thing, and it got featured in various places.
Yeah, PBS, American Portrait, I believe it's called, and then we had an interview with the Philly Inquirer. So yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, I'm a big advocate at this point for home birth. It's just so important to be able to feel safe and just confident and comfortable when you are having a baby.
Right.
And for a lot of people, especially Black women, you don't really have that luxury in a lot of places.
Mhm.
So,
I'm proud of you.
thank you.
I said it to you. I'll say it to you again on camera. Proud of you, babe. So we're back with the vlogs. I don't know how often we're going to be back with the vlog,
We're gonna try to be consistent.
but we're going to try to be consistent. And we do appreciate the people that have supported our channel.
Yeah, people actually used to hit us up and reach out to us like, when y'all gonna come to video? I mean, I didn't think people cared that much, but it's really cool that y'all care to know what's going on with us.
Right.
So,
Obviously, we kind of explained last year, what we wanted our vlog to be about, and we're still about that, just plus another one. And so, guys, be safe.
Sorry.
Tearing that pinky up. Be safe. Listen, the pandemic is still out there, right? I know you might be over it, but it's not over you.
Yeah, we're coming into the second wave.
So just use wisdom. I know it's the holiday time, so people really want to kick it with their family, but just be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.